Welcome to Dramas and Pajamas. Today we're breaking down Marry My Husband Part 3. So get comfy and let's binge. As planned, Ji-won accepts Min-hwan's proposal, and the crowd at the event is buzzing with mixed emotions. Ji-hyuk, silently watching from the sidelines, vows to do whatever it takes to protect Ji-won. Meanwhile, Min-hwan is sweating bullets, hoping Ji-won doesn't notice the ring is a cheap knockoff. Su-min, on the other hand, is fuming internally, determined to stop the wedding at all costs. Ji-won, ever the queen of composure, flashes Su-min a knowing smile, her eyes practically screaming, checkmate. Min-hwan, basking in the attention, thinks he's pulled off the perfect proposal. Little does everyone know, he originally planned to buy a bargain bin proposal package for 39,000 won. Even he thought the price was suspiciously low. Just as he was about to place the order, Ji-hyuk swooped in, claiming the company wanted to reward Ji-won for her contribution with a villa stay on her birthday. Min-hwan, seeing an opportunity to piggyback off of this, announced his proposal plans and even invited Ji-hyuk to the event. Ji-hyuk, ever the strategist, not only agreed but also offered to help. The drone and fireworks, all Ji-hyuk's doing, and all on his dime. After the proposal, Su-min tries her usual fake apology routine. Ji-won, remembering Su-min's countless betrayals, coldly brushes her off. Su-min, not one to back down, ups the drama by threatening to jump into the river. Ji-won, unimpressed, watches from a distance, but Su-min, being the wild card that she is, actually jumps. Ji-won rushes in to save her, only for Su-min to reveal her true colors mid-rescue. With a sinister grin, she grabs Ji-won's arm and tries to drag her underwater. Though no one drowns, Su-min's antics reach new heights of crazy. Later that night, while Ji-won is still shaken, Su-min sneaks into Min-hwan's bed. Ji-won's heroic act of saving Su-min seems to have only fueled her twisted sense of fun. Su-min, ever the instigator, whispers sweet nothings to Min-hwan, who, despite just proposing to Ji-won, can't resist. The two end up in a passionate night together. After everything that happened, Ji-won still feels rattled, realizing she underestimated Su-min's sheer audacity. Su-min's willingness to go to such extreme lengths, as if dragging Ji-won down with her would be worth her own destruction, leaves Ji-won shaken. Ji-hyuk, noticing her unease, gently takes Ji-won's hand, offering her quiet comfort. When his sister comes down for water, he pulls Ji-won aside where the two stand close, their shoulders brushing. In that quiet moment, an undeniable spark begins to simmer between them, stirring feelings they both can't quite hide. Ji-hyuk, determined to lift Ji-won's spirit, takes her on a yacht ride to see the ocean. Under the moonlight, Ji-won raises her glass to Ji-hyuk, thanking him for giving her the best birthday she's ever had. Ji-won, now officially engaged, wastes no time flaunting her 1-carat engagement ring at work. Her coworkers gush with envy, but Ji-won knows the truth. It's all part of her plan. In the elevator, her hand accidentally brushes against Ji-hyuk's, and that familiar spark of chemistry hits her again. Meanwhile, Su-min gifts Ji-won a pair of red heels for her birthday. Ji-won recognizes them immediately. In her previous life, she had given those exact shoes to Su-min, who wore them while cheating with Ji-won's husband. The irony isn't lost on her. Su-min also suggests they take a cooking class together at a department store. Ji-won remembers this as the place where her ex-mother-in-law once took lessons. Fully aware of Su-min's schemes, Ji-won agrees with a smile. Later, as she stares at the red heels, she laughs bitterly, tears streaming down her face. If Su-min weren't so utterly vile, Ji-won would have shown her mercy. Not this time. A few days later, Ji-won and Su-min attends the cooking class, and sure enough, Min-hwan's mom is there. The woman wastes no time asserting dominance, tossing Ji-won's bag aside to claim a seat. Ji-won, pretending not to recognize her, confronts her about her rudeness. Su-min, playing the peacemaker, pulls Ji-won aside. During the class, Su-min diligently cooks while Min-hwan's mother showers her with praise. Meanwhile, Ji-won chops carrots at snail pace, earning snide comments about her peasant cooking skills. Ji-won fires back with sharp comebacks, leaving the older woman fuming. By the end of the class, Ji-won surprises everyone by presenting a dish that tastes identical to the instructors. Min-hwan's mother is reluctantly impressed. Ji-won's culinary skills are actually thanks to her strict training and criticism in the previous lifetime. Next on the agenda, shopping for wedding outfits and meeting the in-laws. At the mall, Min-hwan tags along as Ji-won goes on a shopping spree. She picks out a pricey pink handbag, And when Min-hwan hesitates, Ji-won jumps on the flattery, knowing he won't risk looking cheap in front of others. Her strategy works like a charm. For hours, Ji-won picks out luxury items, leaving Min-hwan drowning in shopping bags and regret. Trying to save money, Min-hwan suggests they eat at Yong-ho's restaurant. Without shame, he calls Yong-ho to ask for a discount. Yong-ho, heartbroken over Ji-won's engagement, agrees to cook for her one last time. Ji-won, touched by Yong-ho's kindness, thanks him sincerely. Meanwhile, Ji-hyuk waits outside Ji-won's apartment, determined to support her through her revenge journey. He knows her ultimate goal isn't just to ruin Min-hwan and Su-min, it's to reclaim her own happiness. The day of the family meeting arrives. Min-hwan asks his mother how much she's willing to spend on their new home, but before she can answer, Su-min shows up uninvited. He goes downstairs to meet her, and she runs her finger down Min-hwan's chest, leaving him flustered. Su-min, after the tease, tells him to focus on meeting Ji-won first and leaves. Min-hwan's mother arrives 30 minutes late, only to find that Ji-won hasn't shown up yet. When Ji-won finally enters, she's dressed to kill in a strapless top, leather pants, and fishnet stockings. Min-hwan's mother is horrified to realize this bold woman is the same one who argued with her at the cooking class. Over dinner, she criticizes Ji-won's upbringing, but Ji-won is ready. She casually reveals that her mother left due to an affair, shocking everyone at the table. Min-hwan and his mother choke on their drinks, while Ji-won calmly hands Min-hwan a napkin, ignoring his mother's outstretched hand. When Min-hwan asks why Ji-won didn't wear the clothes that he bought her, she seizes the moment to mock him, saying, "Oh, those? I thought they were too conservative." Min-hwan's mother, already annoyed, becomes even more upset about her son spending money on this chick. She believes women should stay home, cook, and have children. But Ji-won plays along, pretending to agree with everything. Then, when the topic of ancestral rights comes up, Ji-won's demeanor shifts. She firmly declares she won't marry into a family with such outdated expectations. Ji-won stands up, slams the table, and announces she's calling off the wedding. She tears into Min-hwan, exposing all his flaws before storming up. Min-hwan chases after her, but Ji-won coldly breaks up with him. When he tries to get physical, Ji-hwan flips him over the shoulder, a move that Ji-hyuk taught her. As Min-hwan lies on the ground, Ji-won walks away with a triumphant smile. Her revenge has only just begun. Min-hwan is absolutely fuming after Ji-won dumps him in front of everyone. Back at home, he's having a full-blown tantrum, while his mom is ripping into him for having horrible taste in women. Feeling humiliated, Min-hwan storms off to Ji-won's place to confront her. Surprise, surprise, when the door swings open, it's not Ji-won but a massive dude with a gold chain. Turns out Ji-won has moved into a new place that Ji-hyuk rented for her, and oh, by the way, they're now neighbors. Ji-hyuk's been the perfect gentleman, showing up with housewarming gifts like laundry detergent and tissue. What a guy. The next morning at the office, Min-hwan comes in hot, slamming his bag on the desk. He spots Ji-won, charges at her, and boom, she slaps him. Before he can even process what just happened, bam, slap number 2. Oh, you thought that was it? Nope, smack. 3 slaps for good measure. And just as Min-hwan is about to fight back, Ji-hyuk swoops in and locks him in place. With Min-hwan immobilized, Ji-won casually spills the tea about his cheating and pulls out her trump card, a pair of women's red underwear she found in Min-hwan's car. She plops it on his head like a party hat, announcing his infidelity to their co-workers. She takes off their engagement ring and throws it across the room, where the diamond immediately shatters into pieces. Min-hwan's speechless, and honestly, we're living for the drama. Later, Su-min tells Min-hwan that the underwear isn't hers, sending him into a spiral of confusion. Little does he know, Ji-won planted it after he messed with Su-min in his car. Su-min tries to comfort him, cupping his face and telling him to follow his heart. But Min-hwan finally shows his true face. He tells Su-min that aside from her bedroom skills, she adds zero value to his life. He really doesn't see her as wife material, whereas Ji-won makes the perfect sugar mama. Meanwhile, the office gossip mill is working overtime. News of Min-hwan and Su-min's fling spreads like wildfire, and their co-workers are eating it up. Su-min, unable to handle the heat, texts Ji-won begging to meet, but Ji-won leaves her on red. At work, the team discovers their new meal kit is bombing. Turns out, during a supermarket promo, Min-hwan and Su-min were too busy in the broom closet to put up allergy warning signs, which landed a customer in the hospital. Cue another PR nightmare. The company director goes into panic mode, banning words like cheater and underwear and sleazebag from the company chat group. Min-hwan gets reassigned to another department, and Su-min gets fired. Can we pause and reflect on the gender double standard here? Desperate, Su-min tries to contact Ji-won, but Ji-won ignores her once again. Things hit a boiling point when the allergic customer and his wife storms into the office. Ji-won tries to calm them down, but the wife slaps her, claiming she wrote an Instagram post accusing the couple of faking the incident. Ji-won quickly pieces it together. Su-min had created a fake account to impersonate her. Classic Su-min move. Ji-won pulls a reverse Uno card though, exposing her in front of everyone. She even hands the customer Su-min's phone as proof. Su-min, cornered, drops to her knee and starts apologizing, but Ji-won wasn't having it. In a last-ditch effort, Su-min grabs Ji-won's hand and announces that she's pregnant. Min-hwan, overhearing this bombshell, looks like he's about to pass out. Min-hwan's life is now officially spiraling out of control. On top of everything else, debt collectors are blowing up his phone, demanding repayment. Feeling like his world is crumbling, he drowns his sorrows in alcohol, only to wake up and find himself kidnapped. The kidnappers threaten him about his debt, and in a panic, Min-hwan spills his plan: marry his baby mama, get his parents to buy him a house, and sell it for cash to pay off his debts. The kidnappers push for a timeline, and Min-hwan, desperate, promises the wedding is happening ASAP. Satisfied? They let him go. Plot twist: the kidnappers are actually Ji-hwan's friends, hired to scare Min-hwan into marrying Su-min. Ji-hyuk, ever the mastermind, checks in with his accomplices after Min-hwan scurries away. Back home, Min-hwan begs his mom to buy him a house immediately, only to get a beating instead. Realizing that his only option is Su-min, he heads to her place, where she's sulking on the floor. Min-hwan, putting on his best sincere act, repeats the same proposal speech he once gave Ji-won, word for word. Su-min, moved by his recycled words, agrees to marry him. She goes online to buy her wedding essentials, aka someone else's positive pregnancy test, dreaming of their new life together. Meanwhile, Ji-won's plan is falling into place. The company chairman learns Ji-won is handling the allergy incident and requests a meeting with her. Ji-won impresses him with her poise and confidence, earning his approval. Ji-hyuk, worried his grandfather might give Ji-won a hard time, rushes back to check on her, only to find her handling everything like a pro. He encourages her to stay strong, reminding her that Min-hwan and Su-min's wedding is the key to reversing her fate. To help Ji-won relax, Ji-hyuk takes her to a shooting range and teaches her how to fire a gun. With his guidance, Ji-won nails her first shot. Later, Yoo-hui teases Ji-won about her ideal type, and Ji-won can't help but picture Ji-hyuk's face. The realization leaves her flustered. When Christmas rolls around, Yong-ho invites Ji-won out, with Yoo-hui playing matchmaker. Ji-won agrees to go, leaving Ji-hyuk sulking at home with a giant tub of ice cream. Yoo-hui, ever the little sister, teases him mercilessly, praising Yong-ho's charm. Ji-hyuk, in a fit of jealousy, smashes his spoon into the ice cream and storms off. At the ice rink, Yong-ho is all smiles, acting like a carefree child. But Ji-won's mind keeps drifting to memories of her and Ji-hyuk having fun together. Realizing her true feelings, Ji-won gently tells Yong-ho they will remain friends. He takes it like a champ, smiling and shaking her hand before saying goodbye. It's a bittersweet moment, but Yong-ho knows it's time to let go of his first love. When Ji-won returns home, she hears sneezing in the courtyard. It's Ji-hyuk, who's been waiting outside for her all night. She invites him in, and as soon as she opens the door, she's greeted by a Christmas wonderland, twinkling lights, a decorated tree, and piles of presents. Ji-hyuk, remembering Ji-won's dream of spending Christmas with family, has created a magical holiday just for her. Overwhelmed, Ji-won confesses her feelings. She admits Yong-ho was her first love, but somewhere along the way, her heart shifted to someone else, a man who promised to be her solid ground. Ji-hyun, unable to hold back any longer, pulls her into a passionate kiss. Just as things heat up, Ji-hyuk suddenly stops and pushes her away. He's terrified of his fate and doesn't want to drag Ji-won into his doomed future. Ji-won starts her day worried when she finds out Ji-hyuk called in sick. After work, she channels her inner caretaker and makes porridge for him. As she stirs the pot, she can't help but think back to her previous life when she once made porridge for Min-hwan, only for him to complain about her being selfish since he dislikes porridge. But this is Ji-hyuk, not some sleazy ex. With porridge in hand, she heads to his apartment. After ringing the bell with no response, Ji-won hears a cat crying inside and starts to panic. Luckily, Ji-hyuk had shared his door code with her, so she lets herself in. And there he is, passed out on the couch. Ji-won checks his temperature and freaks out, ready to drag him to the hospital, but Ji-hyuk wakes up just in time. Through fever-induced haze, he gazes at Ji-won but with nothing but tenderness, telling her he hopes she will stand on solid ground, a callback to words a mysterious boy once told her in college. That's when it hits her. Ji-hyuk was that boy all along. Ji-hyuk pours his heart out, confessing his biggest wish is for Ji-won to be happy. And then, in a moment that would make any romance drama fan swoon, he kisses her palm. Later that night, Ji-won stays by Ji-hyuk's side, nursing him back to health. When he wakes up and sees her asleep next to him, he pulls her into a tight hug, unable to hold back anymore. Ji-won tells him she doesn't care about regrets or risks. She's staying by his side no matter what. Ji-hyuk finally gives in, and the two share an emotional embrace. The next day at work, the pair exchanges subtle glances, their connection undeniable. Meanwhile, Min-hwan, still clinging to whatever shred of dignity he has left, tells Ji-won not to treat him like he's invisible. Cue the awkward silence, as everyone knows he's the office laughingstock. Ji-won, unfazed, puts him in his place with a sharp retort. Min-hwan now is desperate, shifts focus back to Su-min. Realizing he needs to act fast, he drags her to meet his mom. To impress the notoriously picky mother, Min-hwan lies through his teeth, claiming Su-min graduated from a prestigious college. Su-min, as usual, leans into her green tea persona, gushing over how much Min-hwan resembles his mom and spinning a sob story about her teacher mom. The icing on the cake, Su-min reveals she's pregnant, sealing the deal for Min-hwan's mom, who instantly approves of her new daughter-in-law. But once they're out the door, Su-min grills Min-hwan for lying. He brushes her off, claiming it's all part of the plan to package her into a worthy daughter-in-law. In true Min-hwan fashion, he ditches her on the side of the road, leaving her fuming. With wedding plans in motion, Su-min's dream of luxury quickly crumble. Instead of buying them a house, Min-hwan's mom insists on renting their dream honeymoon, a domestic budget trip. And the wedding shopping? Su-min is dragged to a bargain store that sells everything from cheap jewelry to outdated wedding gowns. Min-hwan's mom vetoed everything remotely stylish, forcing Su-min into an 80s monstrosity. The cherry on top? A set of old-fashioned kitchenware she must accept as part of her dowry. A few days later, Ji-won receives an electronic wedding invitation from Su-min. Wasting no time, she forwards it to Ji-hyuk, who works his magic. Within minutes, the invitation is plastered on the company's bulletin board. The office erupts into gossip mode. Min-hwan, already the office clown, is now publicly outed as a cheater marrying his mistress. Furious, he confronts Su-min, who, shockingly, acts nonchalant, claiming she's fine with the exposure. Min-hwan, of course, loses it, spiraling into one of his classic tantrums. Later, Su-min's new mother-in-law drags her into a room filled with ancient cassette tapes of classical music for her prenatal education. As Su-min stares at the mountain of tapes, headphones on, her face says it all. She's already regretting her life choices. Things are moving fast for Ji-won and Ji-hyuk. Between sneaky hand-holding in the office and heart-fluttering whispers at home, these two can't get enough of each other. Ji-won is practically glowing, and Ji-hyuk, ever the doting boyfriend, surprises her with a stunning necklace because, in his words, Ji-won deserves only the best. Meanwhile, Su-min is busy prepping for her dream wedding, convinced she's on the verge of achieving a perfect life. Her soon-to-be mother-in-law, however, is not making it easy, nitpicking everything from Su-min's dress to how she hides her supposed baby bump. During the wedding photo shoot, the mother-in-law takes petty to a whole new level by covering Su-min's dress with her own gown. Honestly, that drama writes itself. To impress the sparse gaslit, Su-min hires fake family and friends, yes, you read that right, for 300,000 won. Even with the stand-ins, the crowd is embarrassingly small, and Min-hwan's misery is written all over his face. The awkward atmosphere gets a much-needed shake-up when Ji-won and Ji-hyuk show up, looking like they just stepped out of a fashion magazine. Ji-won is serving goddess-level beauty, and even Min-hwan can't tear his eyes away. Ji-won walks over to Min-hwan, offering her congratulations, and hands him a letter. Min-hwan, assuming it's a gift of money, is in for a rude awakening. It's a lawsuit. His face, when he opens it, priceless. As the wedding ceremony is about to begin, Ji-won approaches Su-min, casually complimenting how the wedding dress suits her. Su-min, however, immediately senses the hidden sarcasm. After all, Ji-won remembers this exact hideous dress from her previous life, chosen by Min-hwan's mom for her own ill-fated wedding. Ji-won smirks as Su-min tries to clap back with a feigned air of confidence. Calmly yet deliberately, Ji-won tosses the designer bag Min-hwan gave her onto the ground, as if discarding trash. Ji-won then turns on her heel, exuding nothing but effortless grace. Watching this play out, Su-min repeatedly reassures herself that Min-hwan isn't some piece of discarded garbage and that marrying him makes her the winner. The mental gymnastic is impressive. But as she plasters on a fake smile and heads back toward Min-hwan, even she seems unconvinced. Ji-won finally feels a sense of closure. Watching Su-min and Min-hwan together, she can't help but shed a tear. Not out of sadness, but relief. She's finally free of their toxic grasp. And then, just as things seem to settle, a trio of Ji-won's former classmates burst onto the scene. These are the same girls Su-min manipulated into bullying Ji-won back in the day, but now they have come to make amends and to expose Su-min. In front of everyone, they spill the tea about Su-min's affair with Min-hwan. The room erupts into chaos. Min-hwan, proving once again he's the worst, abandons Su-min at the altar and flees. The classmates don't stop there. They publicly denounce Min-hwan as a man with no morals. His mother, in true over-the-top fashion, tries to attack them, turning the wedding into an all-out brawl. Ji-won watches the spectacle, thrilled that karma has finally caught up to her ex and ex-bestie. However, her joy is short-lived. Just when she thinks she's rewritten her fate, news breaks that manager Jung has been diagnosed with stomach cancer, the very fate Ji-won was supposed to endure. As Ji-won and Ji-hyuk arrive home, they're suddenly stopped by an angry, elegant woman blocking their path. She introduces herself as Ji-hyuk's fiance, the daughter of a wealthy chaebol family. Ji-won is visibly shaken, and before Ji-hyuk could explain, she hesitates and releases his hand. Awkward timing doesn't even cover it because just then, Ji-won gets a call from Yoo-hui. The news? Manager Yan, who had just been promoted, is diagnosed with stomach cancer, the same fate that Ji-won had avoided in her rewritten timeline. The guilt hits Ji-won like a ton of bricks as she realizes her escaped fate might have shifted to an innocent bystander. Meanwhile, Su-min's dream married life is falling apart faster than a bargain bin handbag. Her honeymoon? A half-hearted domestic trip courtesy of her mother-in-law. Min-hwan, the doting husband she imagined, spends his days glued to his phone playing games. Su-min, trying to salvage things, suggests they get serious about building their life together, even treating Min-hwan like he's king of the castle. But Min-hwan, he's having none of it. Instead, he flips the script and scolds her for being too naggy since their wedding. Oh, and let's not forget the cherry on top. He secretly rents out the house his mother got them to pay off his debts. But Su-min isn't Ji-won. She's not one to grin and bear it. When they're forced to move back into Min-hwan's parents' house, his mother blames Su-min for everything, saying she hasn't fulfilled her duties as a wife. Su-min, never one to hold back, claps back with a leg pat and verbal smackdown combo that leaves her mother-in-law speechless. She even lies that she's made bank on stocks and doesn't need to put up with this nonsense, threatening to leave with her baby. For dramatic affair, she even fakes a miscarriage in front of her husband, caused it when he threw his phone at her. Min-hwan, gullible as ever, buys the story and even cries. Su-min, the actress, carefully tucks away her fake ultrasound photos for safekeeping. Back in Ji-won's workplace, things aren't going smooth either. Her meal kit project, initially a success, hit a major roadblock as chefs begin backing out of their partnerships without explanation. While Ji-won struggles to figure out why, Ji-hyuk pays her a visit. He finally explains that his engagement isn't what it seems. It's a business arrangement between their families. Ji-won, however, isn't thrilled. She argues that breaking off an engagement without mutual consent is unfair to the other party. Feeling like an unintentional homewrecker, she offers to step away from their relationship. Ji-hyuk, trying to mask his heartbreak, hands Ji-won a business card for a top-tiered gastric cancer surgeon. Unknown to Ji-won, Ji-hyuk has already moved mountains months ago to secure this doctor's contract under his family's company, just in case Ji-won needed it. Thanks to this connection, manager Yan secures an appointment for surgery, giving Ji-won a glimmer of hope among the madness. Ji-won receives an unexpected call from Ji-hyuk's fiance, inviting her to meet. Ever the polite one, Ji-won agrees and apologizes for not knowing about Ji-hyuk's engagement earlier. She even promises to cut ties with him moving forward. But the fiancé isn't here for apologies. She's here to throw shade. She accuses Ji-won of targeting Ji-hyuk for his chaebol status, calling her a gold digger. Ji-won, unimpressed, lets out a cold laugh and shuts her down, saying her life was already on the upswing before Ji-hyuk entered the picture. The fiancé, however, is relentless. She's the type who sees any woman near Ji-hyuk as a threat, regardless of their relationship. Meanwhile, Yoo-hui reveals a family bombshell. She is Ji-hyuk's half-sister. She explains that their father's infidelity deeply affected Ji-hyuk, making him determined never to follow in his father's footsteps. This is why Ji-hyuk initially tried to make his engagement work, despite having no feelings for his fiancée. But after meeting Ji-won, he realized he couldn't go through with a loveless marriage. The fiancé, unwilling to let go, digs into Ji-won's past and discovers her tangled history with Su-min and Min-hwan. At home, Su-min's life is a mess, literally. The house is a disaster, with dirty laundry and dishes everywhere. Her mother-in-law, Ever the Charmer, dumps all the housework on Su-min before heading out, reminding her to listen to prenatal music while cleaning. Su-min, overwhelmed, starts tidying up, only to have a pile of blankets fall on her. It's the final straw, and she breaks down. Just then, the doorbell rings. A delivery arrives with photos and documents about Ji-hyuk and Yoo-hui, courtesy of the fiancé. Su-min is stunned to learn they're heirs to a massive fortune and that Ji-won is dating Ji-hyuk. She recalls Ji-won's snarky comment about throwing away trash at her wedding and seethes with jealousy. When Min-hwan returns home, Su-min shares the news. Min-hwan dismisses Ji-hyuk as just another rich guy, but Su-min isn't letting this go. She hatches a plan to extort 100 million won from Ji-won. Su-min knows Ji-won's weak spot, her estranged mother. Out of the blue, Ji-won's mother contacts her, and the two meet for the first time in years. They share a bittersweet reunion, taking photos and shopping together, but during dinner, Ji-won's mother accidentally reveals her true intentions. She assumes Ji-won's generosity is thanks to her relationship with a wealthy man. Ji-won's mood shifts instantly. She confronts her mother, who shamelessly asks for 100 million won, promising to disappear forever if Ji-won pays up. Ji-won, heartbroken, refuses. She reminds her mother of how she abandoned her and her father for true love, leaving them to become the town's gossip. Ji-won recalls a childhood memory of losing her wallet at a store and being scolded by the cashier for not having a mother to teach her better. It was Su-min who found the wallet and defended Ji-won, marking the start of their friendship. How will Ji-won handle Su-min's latest scheme? And will the mother's reappearance complicate things further? Stay tuned for the next breakdown of Dramas and Pajamas, and please remember to subscribe, like, and save. See you soon!